Hello everyone, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like this video. Today I want to talk about the blue line example of leadership. I'm going to use an example from Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri on how they listened to a civilian employee that saved them an enormous amount of time and efficiency in their security measures. But I want to talk first about some tips for any organization or leader. And the first tip should not be a surprise, but unfortunately it isn't adhered to often enough. Failure of any leader or organization is not listening to your front line, not listening to the people who work for you, the people doing the job that you need them to do every day. But when they come up with something that may help, your ego gets in the way and you ignore it because I'm a leader, I'm a supervisor, I know more than you. It happens, folks, unfortunately. That's number one. Number two, I want you to throw that ego out the door. Get your ego out of the door. Never, never get worried about your job or your position being a failure if someone below you on the front line comes up with a great idea and it is accepted by the organization. That means you're doing a good job as a leader. Even if that frontline person ends up over the years surpassing your rank. So what? Be proud of them. They did a great job and you at one time were their teacher, their leader. Hopefully that's what you were doing, teaching and being a leader. So don't worry about things like that, okay? Surround yourself, another tip, with smart people. I've done it all the time. Why do you want to surround yourself with smart people? Hey, we all help each other. We're not a one-man band, okay? Any organization, but in corrections, we're definitely not a one-man band. We have to work together at every level, front line, mid-management, upper management. Cut that ego out. What do when I get ready for presentations or meet with people or talk with people? I interact with smart people. Who are they? Well, when I want information on inmate manipulation, I go to the original king of that topic. He wrote Art of the Con. His name is Gary Cornelius. I read his book and I talked to him. We talk sometimes. We did a FaceTime earlier this year with him. I got his book, Stressed Out, and it's by Gary F. Cornelius, the author of The Art of the Con. Strategies for Living and Working in Corrections. Things officers face daily. I go to the king of these topics and learn from them. Yes, I did 29 years in corrections and I feel I learned a lot. But do I know everything? No, I don't. What if I want to know about gangs? Well, even though I did 29 years in corrections, I never really got into the gang intelligence part of the corrections. Of course, you know, we taught that if you find something involving gangs, you write a report and turn it in. If you find coded messages, turn it in. And we all needed to learn the basics. But I mean, if you really want to get into the gangs, I go to David Schilling, who wrote Norse Germanic Runes and Symbols. I speak with him often, and I have his book because I'm continuing to learn in the corrections field. Surround yourself with smart people. What if I want to tell a new officer how to be successful in making corrections a career? Well, I know a lot of things to tell them, obviously working in the career, but I also go to Michael Cantrell. By the way, he has a prison officer podcast. You can look that up. But he wrote a book, Information and Guidance to Start Your Career in Corrections. The go-to people did a whole career in federal prison system. And one more, I have many other friends that wrote books, and I have them and I speak with them, but another one is post-traumatic stress disorder, taking your work home to the family, turning your home into a housing unit. How do you handle these things? How do you get brave enough to come forward and ask for help? Because correctional officers have a hard shell. William Young wrote, When Home Becomes a Housing Unit. Another one I recommend. Surround yourself with smart people. I could go on and on with more. I have many more people that I speak with and stay in touch with. Their books are behind me here, but I just wanted to give you those four for an example. Now, my Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri example, the Blue Line example I want to give you. Well, a civilian employee mentioned in a survey or an interactive evaluation form that he was aware of other military installations, 3 or 4 of them. Fort Jackson was one of them, using a method for when people enter the gates for ceremonies, visitors coming in. When, for example, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri is the home of chemical engineers and military police school, combat training. When they have graduation ceremonies, the lines are tremendous. What was happening is people were driving from across the United States to see their young son or daughter graduating from basic training and these schools at Fort Leonard Wood. The lines were long, and every car, how do I get to the graduation ceremony? Explain, 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 holding up the line. Next car. Next one comes in. Yes, thank you, you're clear. Just a second. How do I get to the graduation ceremony? My God, it was just an all-day process of giving directions to the graduation ceremony. Well, this person said, hey, put a blue line from the entrance to Fort Leonard Wood, which you see here, all the way to the graduation ceremony area, which I think the blue line is about 3 miles long. And if you've ever been at Fort Leonard Wood, you can get into some twists and turns. It's a very large complex, thousands of acres. It's about 3 miles to the ceremonies. Well, now this frontline person recommended this. It went up to the higher command, and they accepted it, and they said it has saved them tons of time with security, and it has made it quicker to get people in, and also gives the security personnel time to be more observant and not standing there giving directions all day, because security is the key, of course. So when you listen to things from the front line, as Fort Leonard Wood did, and you share. Another example is Fort Jackson shared their information with Fort Leonard Wood on how they did it, and this was implemented elsewhere. We in corrections need to do that as well. In Florida here, we at one time had 54 prisons. I'm not sure how many now. But if something is working great at one prison and this institution is shining like a bright light, well, let's don't keep it a secret. Let's share it with all the other institutions and wardens. Where would you do that? Through memos, through Tallahassee, through the wardens' meetings. Share it. Don't hold on to it so you can look great and glorious Again, remember, throw that ego out the door. Share valid information that can help everyone. Share it with each other. So I just wanted to make this as short as possible and get my points across. And I wanted to use some type of an example of how you can flourish from listening to the front line. And this was a military base and a civilian employee. So in corrections, we have uniformed staff, obviously, and we have civilian staff. We need to listen to everyone on the front line. Thank you very much for watching. Gary York, True Prison Stories. Throw away the ego, stay sharp, stay alert 24/7, and stay safe. Thank you.